The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome to Behind the Law. Happy Saturday, by the way. Hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead. Joined by my beautiful co-host, Makaila Nichols. Hi, Makaila. How are you?
Great. How are you?
You are the voice of the people at home. You are not a lawyer. I am a lawyer. You ask the questions that the non-lawyers who are watching
I'd ask the questions that I would ask my own lawyer.
Yes, you did a very good job last week asking a lot of questions.
I sure did. It was a company. It was a company. John made it easy. You sometimes, not so much.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Here's the question I have, though, because we were just doing a shoot for another show at Escapeology, an escape room, so I had to dress casually. I've changed since then, at least put on the suit, no tie. But I didn't want to bring extra shoes, so I wore sort of casual shoes to the escape room shoot.
Yep.
Now I'm wearing them on this set. I don't know that they work.
I mean, I'm in flip-flops, so.
But as I look down, all I see is these shoes that are a little more casual than I would like.
You know, if I made comments, people would think I'm mean to you. Because last week, first, my mother was like, you threw Cheryl under the bus, and now you're trying to throw me under the bus.
Look,
no, it's fine.
No,
Your
you've already
suit's
now
just a little gray.
the audience for you being mean. Just be mean.
No, you could be wearing worse shoes.
I still don't know exactly what that means.
It wasn't an insult.
Okay, here's what's coming up on the show today. It's actually a great show. A lot of timely subjects we need to discuss. Number one, you've heard about student loans, a lot of things you can do to get rid of your student loans, but now some changes ahead. If you have student loans, you will not want to miss a single moment of the episode today. Also, a case study from my law firm.
Ooh.
About a real case that has driven me nuts for years, that's finally resolved, about homeowners associations being nuts. Guess who won? This guy.
The guy, you?
This guy.
Nice.
Well, my client, ultimately is the victor, but it felt good.
You helped him win.
Good. Are you ready to go?
I am.
Here's what we're going to do. A very short break. When we return, Behind the Law continues. You own a house, you need to have your windows and sliding glass doors checked right away. I'll tell you why. Joined by my good friend Dan Bringman, Renewal by Anderson. How do I know, Dan, when it's time to have my windows and sliding glass doors checked?
Well, it's a great question because it's not always obvious. One of the ways that sticks out immediately is that energy bill. We have to make, we've seen it go up all year long. Got a couple cool days now. A couple other ways are they're not functioning properly. You have some dust on the seals, and also just water infiltration, or maybe you heard a lot of rattling during some wind and so forth.
Absolutely. QR code is on the screen for you right now. What does it cost to have you and your design team come out and see what's going on with my windows?
Absolutely nothing but your time.
That's a beautiful thing, and they're going to come check it out, tell you exactly what you need or don't need sometimes. But a lot of people say, well, Dan, I'm worried about the economy. I don't want to write a big check right now. You've done amazing things to make this almost free sometimes when you compare it to your electric bill.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to be concerned about, but we take the worry away. What we've done is we've extended our finance plans, and we call them our easy pay plans, and they go up to 148 months, or 144 months, and we go as low as 5.97. I mean, that's like really low. Most terms out there go as high as 12, 14%.
And if you think about what you're paying every month versus how you're going to save money on your electricity bill, this is almost free for you and a no-brainer. Dan, always good to see you, buddy. Do yourself a favor right now. Hit the QR code on the screen and call Renewal by Anderson today. Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life. Welcome back to the show. Look, it's no secret that I represent a lot of homeowners against their HOAs. There are some great HOAs out there, right? I get it. They keep the neighborhood beautiful, and
you have the right mulch.
Sometimes they cut your yard. Yeah, but okay, I understand sometimes the necessary evilness, if that's a word, of homeowners associations. I get it. I also understand those of you that are on the board of your homeowners association. It's a voluntary job. You're not paid for it, and you deal with a lot of stuff, all right? I get all that. Here's the problem. There are a lot of overzealous HOA board members. Sometimes you get a little bit retired, you don't have much going on, you want to do something
that's in control. You want to be in control. And look, I'm not talking about all of you board members out there. I'm not. There are a lot of great board members who are trying to do something great for the community. I'm talking to those of you, and you know who you are. This is how you get your kicks, is, oh, I'm in a power position now. I'm going to make their lives miserable. And there's certain things, terms you might want to get used to, like, I don't know, selective enforcement. Just because you hate Johnny down the street doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to him, right? You can't selectively enforce one thing against one homeowner and not against another homeowner because you don't like them. You know what happens at that point? You can get sued. Now, most board of directors, most HOAs have board of directors insurance that's going to protect you from that, but no one wants to get sued, right? Let me tell you a little story. Are you ready?
I am.
I have a client. This has been going on for years and years. In fact, you went to their house one time, remember?
No.
I had the production team actually go to their house and take drone photos of the roofs because this homeowners association decided they didn't like my client having solar. Let's talk about solar for a second. It's great for the environment, right? Isn't that why people love solar? It's great for the environment, saves on electricity. Solar should be good, okay? And as a government, we want people to get solar energy, and they have made it very difficult for homeowners associations to regulate solar. What's so funny? Seriously, you're laughing at me.
I'm not.
This is important stuff.
I know, I'm paying attention.
We want people to have solar because it helps the environment and it saves you on your electricity bill, right? At the end of the day, we love solar. So the Florida legislator has made it difficult for HOAs to govern where you can put your solar panels or whether you can get them or not. What an HOA can do is they can govern where you put them on the roof, okay? Depending on which way they're facing, they can do a little bit of deciding where to put them on the roof. Well, this homeowners association decided they were not only going to send a letter to my client, they're going to sue my client for having solar. So we went to the neighborhood, right? Took my film crew to the neighborhood.
And I went.
And she tagged along. And we did the drone. We took the drone over the entire neighborhood. Guess what? Everybody had solar, and they were all facing the same way. So this HOA was discriminating and selectively enforcing the solar laws against my client. Not only are they doing that, they're suing my client, saying, you owe us tens of thousands of dollars, and if you don't pay, we're going to foreclose on your house.
That's pretty scummy.
When people get mad at me and say, Justin, HOAs are wonderful. You know, why are you fighting against HOAs? This is a prime example. I'd be happy to tell and share with you that the case has now resolved.
Wow.
Guess who has solar again?
Your guy.
My client had to actually take the panels down for a while at great expense. My client has solar again.
So did you sue them back for like the electric bill? Because I would have.
Yes, we did, indeed.
Did you win?
That's what is just now over. I can't tell you names or anything, of course, but literally we had to sue them back to win. And HOAs do this all the time. If you feel like your HOA is discriminating against you, harassing you, selectively enforcing certain things against you that they're not enforcing against your neighbor, you might want to talk to me off the air. The great news is this conversation is always free consultation. The phone number's on the screen, 321-282-1055. Monday through Saturday, we're there. Happy to talk about it. Here's how you handle these cases to begin with, though. Let's see if you remember anything from the past communications we've had on the show.
Okay.
What do you have to do before you sue a homeowners association?
Arbitration.
Close.
Mediation.
Good job. So anytime.
One of the tons.
No, that was really good. That's honestly better than I thought you were going to do on that little test. It was a pop quiz.
Okay.
Pop quizzes are not easy. Here's what you have to do, and you got to be careful about this. If you have an issue with your homeowners association, you cannot just sue them. You can't. If you just sue them, what's going to happen? They file a motion to dismiss, your case will get dismissed, and you will probably owe them attorney's fees. You have to send what's called a statutory HOA mediation demand letter to them. It's a very formal letter. It has to have 5 different mediators on there. It has to list the price of the mediator, has to list the grievances that you have with your homeowners association. You got to send it certified. All right. Once they receive that, they have 20 days to respond to you. Most of the time, at least if I'm involved, they're going to agree to go to mediation. You have to go to mediation first.
Yes, but why don't you also tell people that how many clients do you see it get resolved at mediation? Because most people are difficult, and the last thing that they want to do is, agree. They're like, oh, let's just go to court.
No, see, I disagree. I think on average about 85% of these cases are settling at mediation.
Really?
Yeah, and mediation is, you don't have all of these filing fees, you don't have to go through 2 years of litigation. Mediation's a great tool to resolve these issues with your homeowners association. So anyway, once you send that mediation demand, they have 20 days to respond. If they respond, and you have to go to mediation. If they don't respond, you can then sue them at that point. But this mediation demand letter is you got to be very specific, okay? This is not just like I'm going to send them a letter and see if they respond. The statute requires certain things to be in that letter or it doesn't count. I love the mediation process for homeowners associations. Here's the difference in, I would say, the HOA law versus some other law, okay? Think in terms of American Express sues you. You have a dispute with American Express for whatever reason. Maybe you don't pay the bill, maybe they mess something up. American Express sues you. Okay, whatever. You go to mediation with American Express, try to resolve it or not resolve it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. In a homeowners association case, this is a dispute between neighbors. Mm-hmm. So after the mediation, where we all go, we're all going back to the same neighborhood.
We're all going to the park.
Yeah, the park, the dog park. The dog park's a scary place sometimes between neighbors, by the way. I saw that recently too. But anyway, the HOA mediation process is so important because we're going to be living that, no matter what happens at mediation, we're going to be living together in this neighborhood for the next days, weeks, months, years probably, decades sometimes. So I think it's very important to try to resolve the issues that you have with your homeowners association because we're going to have to live together no matter what.
Well said.
Are you just saying that?
No, it's true. I think it's probably better to resolve everything, but again, you get a couple Karens and they're still gonna, behave how they want.
Yeah, you got it. If you have any questions about homeowners association, again, the phone number's on the screen, 321-282-1055. I think we handle more HOA cases than certainly anyone in Central Florida. It's been a huge part of our practice, and it's an enjoyable part of our practice too because people have been taken advantage of for so long by their HOAs in Florida that some HOAs, I think, got to the point where they felt like they were God. They really do. The statute and the legislator has been making it a little bit easier for homeowners to fight back over the last couple of years. And I think that's really helped a lot of people in fighting back because they don't know everything. They are not God at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Cheryl
might call you.
What happened?
They need to change the mulch.
Oh, yeah, see, they got a letter?
She got a letter.
Oh, a lot of people do call and say, I got a letter. I need to change the mulch. What should I do? I'm like, I don't change the mulch.
How many letters should you get before you do something?
You can push your luck a little bit, but, there are things that you should do. I get it. Like, if my mulch looks terrible, maybe I do need to change the mulch. Or if the driveway needs to be power washed, sometimes that's okay. I'm not fighting back against everything. It's things where they are clearly violating your rights and doing things against you, but they're letting your neighbor do the same thing. That's when I get angry, and that's when we fight back. Here's what we'll do. Me and my bad shoes and all, we'll take a quick break, okay? A quick one. When we return, you might have heard about this. We handle student loan problems for people all the time. You might have heard about some new changes in how you deal with your student loan debt. How does that affect you if you have student loans? As Behind the Law continues. Justin here with the beautiful Makaila. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
There's been a major shift happening in the air conditioning industry, and Old Ash, together with Duquesne, is leading the way.
Committed to the future, Old Ash introduces a new generation of systems that use R454B refrigerant, an innovative alternative that reduces global warming potential by 78% compared to the R410A.
This change is perfect opportunity for anyone looking to replace an old unit or install a new air conditioning system. Old Ash wants you to understand what these changes mean so you can make the best decisions for you, your home, and your family. With a simplified product lineup, compatibility with both R410A and R454B equipment, and available refrigerant detection system kits, the transition is smooth and efficient.
Old Ash technicians are fully trained and certified in these new procedures, ensuring a professional installation that meets the latest industry standards. And most importantly, you'll have peace of mind knowing that their team is with you every step of the way.
With Duquesne and Old Ash, every unit installed is a step towards cleaner air and a more sustainable future. Stay informed, stay cool. Trust Duquesne.
Give them a call today to learn more about these changes and how they could affect your AC unit, and let their trusted service providers guide you through it. Old Ash, educating ourselves to educate you.
Have you been threatened by the IRS? You are not helpless. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and fight levies on your accounts. I'm Justin Clark. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
You have student loan debt. Maybe your kids have student loan debt. It's a scary type of debt. I remember back in law school, one of my buddies was saying, you know, Sally Mae is like your best friend when you're in school, and she becomes a real bad word when you're out of school.
Who's Sally Mae?
Sally Mae was a big student loan company, sort of. You never heard of Sally?
No.
See, someone's never had student loans, so you're not the best co-host when we do student loans. No, you're still a good co-host.
Or I'm great, because I bet some people are like, who's Sally Mae?
Well, a very good point.
If you don't know who Sally Mae is, the segment's not for you.
The four of you who don't have student loan debt, they don't know who Sally Mae is. But anyway, so when you're in school, we love the student loans, and we need the student loans to live on many times. Those of us who didn't grow up rich like me, I could have never gotten through school without student loans, so we do need them. However, they're a scary type of debt, and let me tell you a little bit about student loans just so you know. So you have American Express debt, you have mortgage debt, all these other types of debt. But these people, if you don't pay them, they have to sue you, and it takes a long time for them to come after you or get your money or whatever. Or you just file bankruptcy and you wipe it out. With student loans, or federal student loans, which most of it is, they don't have to sue you, okay? So if you have a student loan, you're not paying it, they just have to send you a letter, and the next thing you know, they're garnishing your wages, your Social Security, your tax refund. They're just taking it right back without suing you. It's much like IRS debt, almost exactly like IRS debt, where they just have to send you a letter, they come take your stuff. That's scary. You can imagine how that can be scary for a family, okay? And there are certain things that you can do about it. Now, you've heard a lot about the prior administration wanted to wipe out all of the student loan debt, and that program, it was not helpful in a lot of ways.
It wasn't going to work.
It was never going to work. So all that they wanted to do is essentially wipe away $10,000 worth of student loan debt for everybody. And okay, I mean, I guess.
Which sucks if you already paid.
Well, I'm not even defending the already paid guy. I understand that argument too. What I'm saying is it doesn't help. The people who have real student loan debt problems, taking away $10,000 is not going to help. The people who have real student loan problems are these people, okay? You went to a trade school, or you went to a school that was going to promise you you'd make $100,000 when you got out. Most of these people, these aren't the kids who went to FSU or UCF right out of high school. These are people who went back to college a little bit later and went to these for-profit schools that were terrible, many of which are not in existence anymore. You might have paid $80,000 or $100,000 to go to one of these for-profit schools. Your diploma is actually hurting you. If you put on a job application, you went there, and that's your diploma that you got, they're less likely to hire you because you went there because the school was so crappy and it's no longer in existence. These are the people who need help when it comes to student loan debt, and those are the programs that we've kind of come up with. So we have a lot of different ways to actually wipe out your student loan debt, especially if you went to one of these schools that is now gone, or even if it isn't gone, but it's in a bad place, okay? You can do certain things to actually wipe out the student loan debt altogether. Can you understand how that might be helpful, and people might deserve that sort of relief when it comes to student loans?
Yeah, yes, no? You're making me seem like I don't have.
No, okay. I didn't
I
ask
can
it
understand
the right way. Can you understand
anyone...
at least my argument back as to why that is a good thing for these people to get rid of the student loan debt? They went to a school that doesn't even exist anymore and made all of these promises, and now they have nothing to show for it. And that, I believe, those people should be able to get rid of their student loan debt. This is not a political issue for me. This is a family issue, a what is right issue. I'm not saying just wipe out student loan debt for everyone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people who got screwed over, their student loan debt should get wiped out. Here's another thing, student loan debt. So so many people come in my office, and these people are now 60, 70 years old, and they're like, I have no idea. I borrowed $30,000 30 years ago. I've been paying on it, and now they say I owe $50,000. Because what happens is, when you got behind on student loans, or you were in this deferment or forbearance or whatever it is, they start adding so many interest penalties where you're never, ever going to pay it off. Here's what the federal government should do when it comes to student loans, right? You need to wipe out all of these BS fees, the interest and everything, and get everyone back to, okay, this is what you borrowed, put them on a 0% or 1% interest rate or whatever it's going to be. Everyone's going to start paying again if you do that. It's the fact that you're making it impossible for them to pay, and you're making it to where they owe more than they ever borrowed. Now, 40 years later, they don't want to pay that. That's what we need to be looking at. We don't need to go around saying, all right, let's just wipe out $10,000 on everybody. That's not doing anyone any good, I promise you. If you have student loan debt, and this is bothering you, you can call me 321-282-1055. Other things that you can do with student loans as well, okay? And they're starting to come after you again, just so you know. They haven't really pursued any of this bad debt since COVID hit, 4 or 5 years ago now. Over 5 years ago now, they haven't been pursuing anyone for non-payment. They're starting to do that again. You're going to start getting, if you're not paying your student loan debt, or even if you are, because I think the government's confused as to what they're collecting. They have different collection companies. Everyone's confused. No one knows what the heck is going on. But you're going to start getting letters saying, we're going to garnish your wages, we're going to take your tax return. Those letters are coming. There are things that you can do to get rid of your student loan debt or make it palatable to pay it. And the first thing I would always look at is what we call an income-based repayment program. What do you think that is?
Well, your income's what you make.
Yeah.
What was the second word?
Based.
Based. So
repayment.
Based on what I make, I pay back the small amount.
Ding, ding, ding. I like that. IBR, income-based repayment program. So it's a financial thing. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of red tape to get through it. It helps to have someone like us who can do it for you, because it's a nightmare dealing with these people. Trust me. Income-based repayment program. So, hey, look, I make this much money per year. I make this much per month, this much per paycheck. These are my expenses. I can afford to pay you this every month. And this is good because your credit's not going to take a hit, because it's showing that you're current, yet you are still paying a little bit of something towards your student loan debt. Sometimes an income-based repayment program can be zero, by the way. So we're paying zero per month, but it's showing up as if we're current on the payments, which is fine. And then there are these other programs where you can get on an income-based repayment program for a while, and then after a certain amount of payments, even if your payment's zero, all of the debt gets wiped away. So there are plenty of different ways to resolve the student loan debt, but I don't think there's been more important of a time than right now to get ahead of the student loan problems, because the government has kind of lulled us to sleep over the last 5 years since COVID. They weren't collecting on student loan debt at all, period. And they certainly weren't coming after anyone for not paying them. That is all as we sit here today on this Saturday together. That is all changing. And it makes me very, very nervous, because the government will come garnish your paycheck. They will take your tax refund, and they'll do it without sometimes you ever even knowing about it. They're going to send you a letter. That's all they have to do. Next thing you know, they send the same letter to your boss. They're taking away money from your paycheck, from your family. It can affect putting food on the table. So if you have student loans now, right now is the time to deal with them and get ahead of it, because there still are programs, despite what you're hearing on the news, that there's nothing you can do, that things are changing. There still are programs that can help you get rid of this student loan debt. And you should, even if you never had any. That's the best way to get rid of it, huh?
Yeah, just don't have them.
Don't have student loan debt. She's perfect, ladies and gentlemen. You are.
No, well, no, I'm not. I think there's reasons to have things, and life happens, and
Yep.
I was blessed to not have them.
That's a great dress.
Thank you.
You got it. Here's what we'll do. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about, by the way, 321-282-1055. We're going to take one last very short break. When we return, it is
What did we learn?
as Behind the Law continues. Introducing to you today my trusted source when it comes to all things estate planning and probate. It is Marshall Law. The man behind it all is John Marshall. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well.
How important is estate planning in someone's adult life?
Estate planning is necessary for us all. I think people have an idea that estate planning is for the wealthy. No, estate planning encompasses much more than just assets. It's who's going to make decisions for us if we become incapacitated. Who's going to be able to pay our bills if we reach a point where, we can't cut those checks or, handle those finances because of an incapacity issue. And it's sad, but, it's likely going to happen to us. We're living longer, and as a result, the odds of you dying without having an incapacity issue are on the, going down. So you're likely to have a period of incapacity before then. We need the proper documents in place.
We do estate planning to avoid probate, but you do help people through probate when they have to. What is probate?
Probate is the process of transferring assets out of someone's name after they have passed away. And we would like to avoid probate because it's a court case and it takes a long period of time and can be costly.
Yeah. You're a great man, a great attorney. I look forward to getting to know you better. And I think that you should always call Marshall Law about any sort of estate planning or probate questions. Do that today.
Are you worried about your student loan payments? I don't blame you. The great news for you is now we have more options than ever. Go to our website, youhavepower.com, to find out what options may exist for you and your student loans.
Welcome back to the show. We wrap it up today. Wrap up your Saturday of Behind the Law with What Did We Learn? Makaila Nichols, take it away. What did you learn?
I think it's IBR, not to be
IBR,
confused
good
with
job.
IBS, because as soon as you said it, I was like IBS, but IBR.
Why does everything have to turn like that with you?
It just, because I was
No one
trying to
wants to
remember it. IBR, income-based
So that's
repayment
how you're going to
plan.
remember income-based repayment plan
Is
by
IBS.
comparing it to a real medical
Well,
ailment.
because you kept saying it's a pain and it's awful, so I was like IBS.
Oh, jeez. So income-based repayment plan can certainly help you with your student loan debt. A lot of news out there about all these programs going away when it comes to your student loans. There are still things that can help you, can help your family if you have student loan debt. I think now is the time to act, though, because the government and all their collection abilities, the full force of them, are going to come after you if you have student loan debt. Now, homeowners associations, things have gotten better for the actual homeowner themselves. More power has gone from the association to the people. Still way unbalanced. The association still has way more power than the actual
But you
homeowner.
try to keep them in check.
I do. I don't try. I do keep them in check. It's been one of the joys of my career fighting HOAs. And again, if you're a director of an HOA, your board of director member, I love most of you. So I don't need your negative commentary or anything. I love most of you. It's just there's some bad ones out there. You probably met them before. Excellent job to you.
Thank you.
To our amazing crew, as always, you killed it today. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more Behind the Law.
Are you worried about your student loan payments? I don't blame you. The great news for you is now we have more options than ever. Go to our website, youhavepower.com, to find out what options may exist for you and your student loans.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.